Hello, everybody. Early December has seen a couple of lists, the OSCA list and the CSOL list, which a lot of you have been wondering about. In this video, I'm going to break it down for you so that you understand which list applies to who and what exactly are these lists about. Let's get started. The first list we're going to talk about is the CSOL, that is the Core Skills Occupation List. Now, this is the list a lot of people were very anxiously monitoring for a very long time because there were some occupations listed on this list that said confident on occupations, and for others it said confident of occupation. So people were looking at it with bated breaths to see whether the final CSOL that would be released finally has their occupation intact on the list or removes those occupations. So now that the core skills occupation list, the CSOL, has finally been released on the 3rd of December and will come in effect on the 7th of December, the list finally has shaped as follows. It has 456 occupations listed. Some very critical occupations have been removed from this list, such as cafe and restaurant manager, conference and events organizer, graphic designer, nutritionist, telecommunication engineers, ICT support engineers, interpreters, and then tennis coach, and so on. Now, as far as the removal of these occupations are concerned, these removals, or let's say the occupations that are listed on the CSOL, only apply to what was known as the 482 visa, which has been replaced by the skills in demand visa and the 186 visa. So technically, the CSOL is a list that does not apply to point based general skilled migration programs such as the 189, 190, and 491. This is a list that the immigration authorities are going to refer to only for applicants who are applying for a visa that requires a sponsorship, a nomination, or a job offer by an Australian employer. So, for those of you who are wondering how this is going to impact us, if you're somebody who is applying for a point based visa, you do not need to worry. The occupations, your occupation probably has not been removed, no occupation has been removed. So, I hope there's a sigh of relief there. And now let's talk about the other list that has been introduced on the 6th of December. Now, this list is known as OSCA, Occupation Skilled Classification Australia. Now, this list has replaced the ANZSCO, that was the Australian and New Zealand Standard Classification of Occupation. Now, this ANZSCO was a rather old list that was curated in the year 2006. Experts felt that it is currently not well aligned with the skills that Australia needs and is rather outdated. Therefore, this list that was jointly managed by the Australian Bureau of Statistics and New Zealand has now split. New Zealand has its own list, and Australia has created its own list called the OSCA. So, at this point of time, what you need to know is that in times to come, the ANZSCO list is going to be replaced by OSCA. What that means for you? At this point of time, it means nothing because right now, all the skills assessment bodies, the states that are giving out nominations, and the DHA will be referring to the ANZSCO as usual. When the DHA decides to implement OSCA and replace it with ANZSCO, that is when the changes will happen. Now, I have reviewed the list and I'm yet to review the rest of it. But what I can see is that largely, there's not much of a change. There is change, of course, the codes have changed for all the occupations. For some occupations, the terminology has changed. For example, for a private teacher or a tutor, NEC, the OSCA terminology being used is academic academic tuitions, bracket, private tutor. So it more or less means the same thing. For the occupation marketing specialist, now under the marketing professionals, there are four kind of subcategories. The first is a content creator marketing, the other is a digital marketer, then a marketing research analyst, which was already there, and a marketing specialist, which was already there. Now, if you see, look at the screenshot, they've added content creator marketing and a digital marketing analyst. Now, these are the two subcategories which are very relevant to the skills scenario today and was not so relevant back in 2006. So, this is something they have added. So, I'm guessing that the OSCA will probably include vast number of occupations in its subcategories. And some occupations, such as the mixed crop farmer, seems to have kind of changed in nature, because at this point of time, anybody who's into mixed crop farming, irrespective of what is the acres in terms of the land that he's farming, it doesn't really make any difference. Now, with the OSCA, they will be transiting from mixed crop farmer to what is known as broad acre crop growers. So, this is very clearly indicative of the fact that farming, those who are specifically into mixed crop farming, there are various farmers, but I'm just talking about mixed crop farmers. So, those who've been farming on some limited land will perhaps not be eligible in times to come, because Australia will be looking at mixed crop farmers with a larger land that they are cultivating. So these are some of the changes that we can expect in the OSCA. But as of today, there is nothing for you to panic. Nothing is changing, and you still need to go with the ANZSCO. When the OSCA is implemented, we of course will update you through our video. That will be it for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with us on 78498 or drop in your query or CV at inquiries@caanwings.com.